top 5 NBA trades that need to happen before the 2017 NBA trade deadline. First one that comes in is Jrue Holiday for Jahlil Okafor. Now, this one has been rumored a lot lately that Jrue Holiday would be moved from the Pelicans over to the Philadelphia 76ers. The 76ers do need a point guard. Even though there's been a late emergence of TJ McConnell, Jrue Holiday would obviously be an upgrade over him. Or they can always move Jrue Holiday back to shooting guard and play him there. And they would have a nice lineup with Ben Simmons coming back of either like maybe McConnell, Holiday, Simmons, and then they would play probably like Noel and then Embiid at the 5. And then the Pelicans would be getting a nice center, or they can move Okafor to power forward, whatever they want to do, to pair up with Anthony Davis. They're only 3 games out of a playoff spot, and adding a nice front court duo with Anthony Davis may be the thing they need to get into the playoffs and push over the Mavs, the Kings, and the Trailblazers and past the Nuggets, as they are the 12th seed right now in the Western Conference. Next trade we do have is also involving the Philadelphia 76ers, and that is Nerlens Noel getting traded over to another Western Conference team, and that is the Portland Trailblazers for Noah Vonleh, Al-Farouq Aminu, and a future first-round pick. Now, if this trade were to be moved, the Portland Trailblazers, as a 9 seed, that are disappointing a lot of people this year, would have a nice core lineup of Nerlens Noel, Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Allen Crabbe, and whoever they would want to put at the 3. Now, this would be a very nice addition to the Trailblazers, who were just 1 game or a game and a half out of the 8th spot in the Western Conference, just behind the Denver Nuggets. And adding that lineup, that could definitely push the Nuggets. And then what the 76ers were getting back in return, they'd be getting a nice 3 position in Al-Farouq Aminu, who would be either they could start over Ben Simmons or they could put behind Ben Simmons, but it would come off the bench. And he does have a very nice contract, I believe only making around $7 million a year. And this day in the NBA, that is very nice. A nice young player known as Noah Vonleh that they can maybe develop, or he's just like a throw-in and a future first-round pick. You know, the 76ers love their first-round picks, and getting a first-round pick for Nerlens Noel would be great value at this moment for the 76ers. Trade number 3 is, these last 3 ones are pretty big trades, and this one is Paul Millsap going from the Atlanta Hawks in his last year of his NBA contract to the Toronto Raptors for Terrence Ross, Jared Sullinger, Norman Powell, and a future first-round pick. Now, Paul Millsap could be one of the most underrated players in the NBA, or overrated. People either undervalue him or overvalue him. And a lineup of Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Paul Millsap, and Jonas Valanciunas as that core would be filthy in the Eastern Conference, and they could definitely push the Cavs into 7 games. If the Raptors just do that trade, they'd be one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, they are one of the better teams already, but they could definitely make a push for the Cavs for 7 games. If they're getting an all-star or a former all-star power forward in Paul Millsap, I know he's an expiring contract, and that might hold them back, thinking if they can't re-sign him, they won't have enough money, or he might not want to come back to Toronto. But getting that trade would just make the NBA a lot more exciting, as they are right now the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, and they're only 2 games out of the 2 seed, so they can easily push that, and they're only 4 games out of the 1 seed. Credit the Hawks are the 5th seed, but it seems like they're just trading away people. They've already traded Kyle Korver. They let Al Horford go in the offseason. I know they brought in Dwight Howard, but they could probably see themselves right now as not making it to the NBA Finals and getting over the Raptors, Celtics, Cavs. But if they get a first-round pick, they get Terrence Ross, Norman Powell. They're getting nice young pieces to possibly build for the future. And that comes in as the 3rd trade spot here in this video. On to the last 2, and this one right here definitely could use a 3rd team to make happen. It would be Carmelo Anthony to the LA Clippers for JJ Redick, Austin Rivers, and 2 future first-round picks. If they do want to throw in Jamal Crawford in that trade, they would have to find a 3rd team, because I doubt the Knicks are going to want to take on that contract. I believe he has 3 years left, and he's already above the age of 38 or whatever. But as this, if a Clippers lineup right now of Chris Paul, Jamal Crawford, or Chris Paul, Austin Rivers, or Chris Paul, Jamal Crawford, Carmelo Anthony, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan can most definitely make a push at the Warriors for just to like win it all. Like, they are the 5th seed right now, but that is because Chris Paul's hurt, and like they are behind the Jazz, the Rockets, the Spurs. But I think of a lineup like that with those caliber star players, they'll at least get past the 1st round or past the 2nd round, which they cannot do or can never do. That would definitely make a push at the Warriors into 7 games. Possibly 6, 7, possibly even win them the series. But that would be very exciting to see another kind of quote-unquote super team in the NBA. But as a Knicks fans, for the Knicks side of it, they probably want to do Melo for either DeAndre Jordan or Melo for Blake Griffin. But I don't think the Clippers are going to want to give up any one of their big 3. And they're trying to win right now. And getting Melo and not trading one of their big 3 would be a part of that. As for the Knicks side of things, they'd be getting 2 future first-round picks that they could develop, be nice young players. Austin Rivers, who's still below 30. And JJ Redick, who's still one of the better shooters in the NBA. Credit, you'd probably need a third team because the Knicks might not be getting as much player value as they wanted. So that's where the third team comes in handy. And the final trade here is going to be Jimmy Butler going from the Chicago Bulls to the Boston Celtics for Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and both Brooklyn picks in 2017 and 2018. So the Nets are 9-45 right now. They're most likely going to have the number 1 odds at the number 1 pick, probably these next 2 years. And Jimmy Butler, who people could say argue him as now that James Harden's a point guard, can argue him as the best shooting guard, the second best shooting guard, or like people could value him as a top 10 NBA player, top 15 NBA player. And the Celtics, with those Brooklyn picks, this is a very point guard heavy draft class. They are probably not going to draft Alonzo Ball or Markelle Fultz or Dennis Smith because they have Isaiah Thomas, who's been an MVP candidate this year. But if they can add Jimmy Butler with Avery Bradley hitting free agency next year, and he's probably going to be asking for a lot of money just because of his defensive ability, they can bring in Jimmy Butler, who will probably make the same amount as Avery Bradley is going to ask for, and it would be a nice lineup of Jimmy Butler, Isaiah Thomas, Jimmy Butler. You'd keep Jay Crowder and his great defensive ability at the 3, Amir Johnson at the 4, and Al Horford at the 5. And that would be a scary team going into the playoffs. And you would have Avery Bradley coming off the bench, Tyler Zeller. It would be a very interesting team. And if those trades happened with the Raptors getting Paul Millsap and the Celtics getting Jimmy Butler, that would be a very exciting 3-way race to make it to the NBA Finals between the Cavs, Celtics, and Raptors. The Wizards, I don't know if they're going to be making a trade, but they would probably have to if the Celtics somehow got Jimmy Butler and if the Raptors got Paul Millsap. It would definitely make the Cavs a little bit nervous, as definitely it would be exciting for the NBA to not be like, oh, it's going to be a Warriors-Cavs finals. We'll actually see maybe a different team like the Raptors or the Celtics make it. So that's going to be from you guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of these trades. These were pretty much rumors that I've seen online or just things that I thought about. Let me know what you guys would either change about these or new trades or trades you see happening in the description below. Leave a like if you enjoyed and you want to see more top 5 videos going around the NBA. Subscribe if you're new. And that's it for me. Hope you guys have a great day. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.